Good evening, everyone. For the third night in a row, we're previewing what is the new spring season for EKU Athletics. And tonight, one that has not sat in the spring schedule in the past, but this year they take center stage, and they got going earlier this week. It's EKU Volleyball. And the head coach of the EKU Colonels, Johnna Bazzani, will join us here in a moment. And we'll have one of the players join us here in a little bit. Coach, excited to have you in tonight. How are we doing?
Well, thanks for having me. I'm doing good.
Good. And, after laying the foundation in year one, where you want this program to start going, tell us what to expect this year in year two.
Um, well, year one, we had a little bit of an improvement from the year before I got hired. And, this is my first recruiting class of 2020, and we brought in 8 newcomers. So definitely looking to expand, just being versatile in our offense and our defense. Last year we were very one-dimensional, and very pin heavy. And this year, bringing in 8, we have a lot of depth in every single position. So really, being able to incorporate a very fast-paced offense. I'm a very offensive person, so when looking at our game, trying to incorporate different offensive schemes, and also being strong in our defensive core. And so, with having this new team, so to speak, with all these new incoming student athletes, it's been awesome just to see, especially in this first weekend, the competitiveness and the drive that all these kids have, and that's kind of where we're trying to elevate this program to be.
When you have 7 new freshmen, you usually have them on campus for 2 months of summer workouts. You have a few weeks of preseason practice before taking the floor the first time. A totally different setup this year
Mhm.
as you prep for the season. How has that maybe helped, or how has that changed how these kids are ready for game one this year, with that game one being in the middle of February?
I think in the beginning when we first brought them in, end of July, beginning of August, it was a very uncertain time period, so it was a little hard for them at first to adjust to. But in my mind, I thought it was a blessing, having, 7 freshmen being able to adjust to the college experience, not just in the volleyball world, but also just with school and being away from their families, being able to have that downtime with them to really work with them one-on-one and really get them into what we're trying to build here and what, our competitive nature is, was huge for us. And we had all this time to work with them. And usually, like you said, it's 2.5 weeks before we start competing. And so I found it a true blessing to be able to take our time and work with them, having so much downtime with, the shutdown with COVID, being able to like limit injuries and just taking our time with them to get them back in shape, has really helped us.
And you were away a little bit, and we'll talk about that later in the
Mhm.
program. But you definitely had your team prepared this week when week one of the season rolled around. And before we talk about week one, let's take a look back at Monday. This was the second game of the season
Mhm.
for this team, a team that's now 1-1 on the year. Monday was very exciting. Let's take a look.
Yes, it was.
EKU Volleyball wrapped up their series against UT Martin yesterday at Alumni Coliseum, and they did it in thrilling fashion. After dropping the first 2 sets by the minimum of 4 points, the Colonels were able to hold on for a 25-22 set 3 win. In the fourth frame, EKU would use an 8-point run midway through the set to cruise to a 25-13 victory and force a 5th and decisive set. Final stanza, Eastern down 2 when Molly Mihalik drops the hammer to close the gap. An attack error by the Skyhawks ties it at 13. Out of the timeout, Giovanna Bulatovic smashes one through the block, and the Colonels have match point. UT Martin with the chance to tie it can't hit through the block, and Eastern Kentucky crawls out of a 2-0 hole to claim a 3-2 match victory. 4 Colonels registered double-digit kills, led by freshman Molly Mihalik, who finished with 20. Freshman Audrey Earton paced the offense with 63 assists. So the Colonels are back in action on Sunday when they head to Southeast Missouri to take on the Redhawks. I'm David Miller for EKU Sports.
We appreciate those highlights from David and Coach. A 5-set win, lots of excitement, enthusiasm in McBrayer Arena on Monday. You really started out the match fairly well and
Mhm.
had a chance to win both of those first 2 sets. So you knew you were in position. What did the team learn during those first 2 sets that allowed them to continue to progress throughout the match?
it was finishing that was really hard for us. As you can see in the scores, we were right there point for point, and we only lost by 2, and so, um, it was also an experience that got the best of us, especially in Sunday, and then going into Monday, I think the fatigue, the nerves kinda were starting to settle in, but the grit was what really turned between sets 2 and 3. I told the girls, "Defend your home court, you don't wanna lose twice, to the same team back to back, and this was our time to shine," and they really dug deep in that 3rd set, and it was still a close set, but going into the 4th, you can really see that's EKU volleyball right there. We played well, everything was very controlled on our side, and I was so proud of it. I mean, I still had chills watching that highlight tape just because of how exciting and thrilling that match was on Monday.
One of the things I love about volleyball is the celebration aspect. That get a great point. There's a
Mhm.
lot of excitement, and it was fun to watch this team on Monday. Early on, the first little bit of success that the team saw, they're a little subdued, and that you could tell they were learning how to win throughout the day. Even Sunday, 25-23 in the first game, you were able to get the second match 25-22, 25-22, 25-19. So you're right there
Mhm.
on Sunday. A combined 44 ties and 22 lead changes on Monday after 18 ties and 10 lead changes on Monday. That's an emotional roller coaster for a lot of young players. Just talk about the poise that they were able to find late Monday to get that win.
I think, a lot of that had to do with our leadership and our upperclassmen. In the 3rd set, we subbed in Giovanna, and she came in hot for us, and, Sarah Mitchell was struggling a bit offensively, but had her back, defensively, we subbed in for her, and so that leadership core, especially with Sydney, I think they didn't wanna lose, and they were gonna do whatever it takes to not to lose, and that's really hard, especially with the young team. They come down from an 0-2 loss to really dig deep and, come in hot with the win, but it was awesome to just see the grind and the efforts that they made. Like I said, it's hard for freshmen, especially coming in from high school into college, to be able to last an endurance in the 5-set match. And the fact that we can get a 5-set win this early on in the season was huge for us.
Let's talk about you. You spoke of Giovanna, a top returning outside hitter for you from a year
Mhm.
ago. 181 kills, the redshirt junior, 2.06 kills per set. What does she bring to the table for you?
She is key for us. She's a heavy hitter. Every time she comes in, she always is swing, 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 and we can rely on her to get a bunch of points for us that way. And also blocking. When she's up there at the net, she puts up a huge block defensively for us. And so she's definitely a great threat for us at the front row. And so to bring her in, especially on Monday night, was honestly the game changer. And she has a lot of spunk to her, and she's so competitive that when she's in, you can tell the girls get really excited, and it's a whole different type of vibe on the court.
I want to talk about another one of the players that we'll get you to talk about in just a moment. We're going to bring Sydney Shane in here to talk a little bit about her career so far here at EKU. Sydney, 146 digs on the season last year. Columbus, Indiana native. I think there may be a few friends and family watching tonight. Does that sound right?
Really see who's on here, but yeah, I think I have some family members on here.
A two-time state semifinalist. You reached the finals in one of those 2 years. Tell us a little about your high school career and also being a class valedictorian, balancing the academic side of that.
Yeah, it was really exciting being successful both athletically and academically, and just being able to enjoy my high school career and just everything that came with it. It was a lot of fun.
Unique that as a junior, you're really the elder statesman of this team. How important is your leadership this season for the squad?
This year, it's really important because, as Coach was mentioning before, we have a lot of freshmen. We have 7 freshmen, so getting everybody on board and just being able to follow leaders and follow in everyone's footsteps. It's going to be really important to have strong leadership this year to be successful, and I think we're doing a really great job. Everyone's on the same page, and the team chemistry is there, so it's going to be a great season.
Tell us a little bit about this match on Monday and what that was like, the roller coaster of getting down 2-0 and winning 3 straight with this young group and watching some of those teammates those younger teammates you have grow up over the course of that just shy of 3-hour set match?
Yeah, Monday night was a lot of fun. You know, in the game, I was very confident. I knew we were going to be able to, pull out a win. And I feel like after the first two sets, we kind of all just were like, okay, let's calm down, let's focus, and we were able to just pull out a win. And it was really exciting, having 7 freshmen. I mean, everyone was just able to kind of just get the job done, and it was a good win. It was a lot of fun.
29 digs for you on Monday night. And when you look at up and down this roster and all the practice you've put in, this extended preseason, if you will, where do you think the largest improvement is for this team from last year?
I think we have a lot of depth this year, and we have a lot of new faces. So we're able to kind of just create a great team, and we have great team chemistry, and we're all wanting to win. We all have the same goal in mind. So it's been great, and just having we just have a new team this year.
Tell me a little bit about your family legacy here at EKU.
Yeah, so my dad played baseball here, and my mom played volleyball. So having both parents as alumni is pretty awesome.
Let's bring your coach back in here. And Coach, what has Sydney done on the court to impress you so much?
I think just the growth that she put from last year into this year. Sydney stepped up into the libero role, and to be the libero, there's not just one thing that you have to be good at. It's you have to be good at defense. You have to be consistent at passing. You have to talk. You have to lead. And she was definitely grown. And I was an assistant before I took over. So when Sydney was a freshman, as her assistant coach, she was just in that DS role, so subbing in for 3 rotations, would come in to serve. But seeing her grow has been just awesome as her coach, and she has definitely become so much more consistent. She stepped up leadership wise, and that really showed on Monday. As a defensive player, nothing drops, and that was definitely her goal, was nothing was going to drop. And she has her teammates back, so she has definitely grown. It's been awesome.
No, she was definitely under consideration for an OVC Player of the Week honor. Sweeping 2 of them at some other positions did not help her case. To help EKU get a sweep of the awards this week, with teammate Molly Mihaly getting Offensive Player of the Week and Newcomer of the Week in the league with 34 kills, 37 digs, and 35 points against UTM over the weekend. Sydney did such a great job Monday. Sydney, this team, what's the attitude of this team going into this weekend, coming off that big win and getting ready for SEMO?
We definitely want to win. We're not satisfied with one win, and we really want to focus this weekend. And it starts in practice, having some strong practices this week, and going into the weekend confident, and just having a goal in mind of we're going to win this.
Any fun stories you can tell us about Coach?
Oh, we might be here all day if I have a few.
We get a few minutes.
No, coach is great. She's done a great job, and she's done a really nice job balancing, having a baby, and still she's very present on the, at practices and stuff. So she's done a great job balancing that.
Well, Sydney, we thank you for joining us. We're going to slide back here with Coach and talk a little bit more about this team. But it was mentioned a couple of minutes ago, but I want to throw something up on the screen here, and maybe you can tell us a little bit about your last couple months with this one.
Yes, my last couple of months have been crazy, to say the least, but definitely rewarding. That is for sure. Yep, had a baby in the end of December. He came a couple weeks early, so it actually kind of worked out because due date was middle of January. And so, luckily for me, I was able to come back and be with the team. But definitely exciting moment in my life, and just having volleyball back in general. So the balancing act has been a little tough in the beginning, but like Sydney said, I've been doing my hardest to be present for these girls, just because it's such a blessing that we have volleyball back. There's some conferences that aren't playing at all, and so me wanting to be there for the girls, but also being there for my newborn child and my family as well. But I grew up in an athletic family, and I was in the gym as a kid, and so I'm excited once my son gets older to be able to grow up in the gym, with me, and it's just been an exciting time in my life.
And he has already made it to his first game already
He
at,
has.
what are we now, about 6 weeks?
Yeah, he's exactly 6 weeks.
So he
So
gets to see.
unfortunately, he slept through the entire time, but, what do you expect from a 6-week-old?
uh, let's talk a little bit about the schedule. You're going to be playing a lot of OVC games this year. It's going to be an exciting time, but SEMO this weekend. What is it like not getting that non-conference schedule before conference play to maybe iron out some of the kinks, getting thrown right into the fire?
I think, like you just said, having those non-conference games, you kind of get to see where your team's at before you get to compete in conference. Um, but, you know, having all that downtime in the fall and being able to work with your team, you kind of see where where we're working towards. And my biggest thing with the girls is we're getting better every single day, no matter what the outcome is, as long as we're competing at a high level, incorporating everything that we're learning in practice and doing that in the games is huge for us, and that's a win. And we want to win and we want to be successful in the OVC. And so, being able to not have those preseason weekends is it's kind of a bummer, but also now it's go time, and they're realizing, okay, we're playing the same team back to back, so we have to be able to adjust from night one to night two quickly, and little changes that we need to make.
Sunday, Monday doubleheaders throughout OVC play for most of the schedule. This weekend at SEMO,
Mhm.
4 straight games on the road will also take you to Cookeville, Tennessee to play at Tennessee Tech before Belmont makes an appearance here in McBrayer Arena on February 28th and March 1st. Both of those games on ESPN Plus. SIU Edwardsville will come to town before a trip to Jacksonville State. And then we'll close out the home slate March 21 and March 22 against Morehead State before a trip to the Nashville area to face Tennessee State in an OVC tournament in early April. That'll be April 2nd and April 3rd. Coach, that also will transition us into another part of this program, the beach program. You'll have a couple of weeks off. What would normally be right now, we would be previewing the beach season, but instead, we'll play through the indoor season and then get a couple weeks off before beach play starts. Tell us a little bit about our beach program right now.
So right now we've got 4 beach only kids, and they're just going through workouts. My assistant Jeff, he helps me on the beach side, and so once the weather gets a little bit nicer later on this month, we'll be doing incorporating a couple practices with them just so they can, start touching the ball and getting used to the game. Um, but yeah, like you said, normally this would be kind of our beach season going right now, and our indoor kids would transition and take off the knee pads and go out on the sand barefoot and go and compete in that level. So uh, it's definitely going to be a different year, just in the sense that we're going to have 2 weekends off and then have to transition all of our girls from the indoor side to the beach side. It's probably going to be a little rough for them, but um, it's 3 weekends of beach, and I think it's a good stress reliever. I love the beach game in the sense of it is a brand new game, but it's also helped our girls become a little bit more relaxed, and it helps them get well conditioned. It helps them work hard and have to really over communicate, and that really translates into the indoor game. So I really like the addition of beach just because it also elevates our indoor game and recruiting and all that kinds of stuff. And so um, I'm excited for beach to happen, but we got to get through indoor first. But it's going to feel like a long year or a long semester, so to speak.
We talk about the support that our fans provide, a great crowd over the weekend in McBrayer Arena, and they do a great job financially supporting as well. And I want to throw up a link here to encourage our fans to donate to the program and support these young women as they continue their collegiate career here at EKU. Your support so important to having a great collegiate experience for them, both in the classroom, through travel. And Coach, one of the places we've seen a great improvement for this program is through a beautiful beach facility right outside of McBrayer Arena. Tell us how excited you are about that new venue being in place for this upcoming season.
Oh, it's awesome, and it's right there next to all the athletic facilities, and I think it's just going to be a great not only just for our student athletes, but just for the fan experience to be able to come out and watch our beach kids play. Beforehand, we were limited in the past 2 years. And so this year, with our brand new facility, I think it's just going to only get better for our kids and just for the fan engagement piece. And we get to host this year, which is going to be awesome for us. So I'm really excited, and it's a beautiful facility, and there's so much more to grow from it as well.
And I know that's just one of the small pieces that's so important is prospective student athletes look at EKU. When you're visiting through the phone right now, as you haven't been able to have anybody on campus to see that facility and see all the great facilities that you utilize every day. Why are people so excited about EKU and EKU volleyball right now out on the recruiting trail for you?
I think it's just one, our facilities have gotten so much better, year by year. And I think, we're doing virtual tours and whatever we can to get kids to come and be a part of our program. But just the elevation and the excitement of EKU right now is huge. And even with the expansion of going into the ASUN conference, um, I've heard nothing but excitement from our recruits and our incoming kids. But I think just our facilities in general have improved so much, and the excitement of, you know, a new staff. I'm in year 2, but, what we're trying to bring and what we're trying to bring back to EKU volleyball, there's been over 50 years of volleyball at EKU and 3 head coaches. So there's a ton of alumni in volleyball, and, the changes that I'm trying to make and getting us back to a winning culture. We haven't won a OVC championship since the early 2000s, and prior to that, Jerry Palvino was a winning coach, and so I'm really trying to turn this program around and get us back to that winning environment.
When you look up on the wall and you see the banner with all the accolades, all the awards that have been won here, there are a lot of volleyball banners. So I know you're excited to continue to help elevate this program for this season in the OVC, continuing to make improvements. But when we look ahead to ASUN Conference, I want to bring up the map here and show what this league is going to look like. Is EKU makes a move July 1, 2021 into a new league and a new era for EKU Athletics in the ASUN Conference. Opponents all across the South. And Johnna, when you look at this, what does volleyball look like in the ASUN, and what challenges are ahead for you in the program?
The ASUN is definitely a very competitive conference. I think for our girls, it's going to be very important for them to just really dig deep and just know that, we're raising our level of play now once we go into the ASUN, and it's giving us another chance to compete at a higher level. But I think the biggest piece that's going to be kind of a hardship for us is the travel, getting used to traveling a greater distance than we have been. Um, but I'm excited for it, and I think our girls are very excited for it just to be able to raise the competitive nature and, in the conference and in our school as a whole. And so, um, but the travel piece, it's going to be an easy adjustment once they get used to it because we do have to travel preseason weekends as well. So they're accommodating to it as well, but I'm excited for it, and I think from the recruiting standpoint, it's gonna bring in a lot of new, recruiting areas for us, more down south that we haven't really been used to, so I'm excited to kinda see where that kinda changes in recruiting for us as well.
And divisional play will help with those costs associated with traveling across the league as the league continues to expand and those
Mhm.
discussions continue at a rapid pace on where the league is heading. Exciting times ahead for the ASUN Conference and EKU Athletics. We spoke to it a little bit earlier. With having your son recently, you've had to lean on your 2 assistants a little bit, Jeff Patton and Jess Reber. Just talk about what they've done over the last few months to help support you and what they bring to the table for your program.
Yes, they have come in clutch for me, they're definitely awesome, and I owe them a lot more than I probably have given them right now, but, when I hired Jeff when I first got hired on, he was my right-hand man, and he was gonna help me turn this program around, and, so he would did a great job at just making sure that everything was going smoothly, and, he oversees our defensive piece and our blocking core with our hitters, and, he really just kinda took the notion and really helped, just step in when I wasn't available at all times, and so I know the girls really respect him in that lead, and then Jess, she's new, I hired her in October, but, she has a good eye for the game, and she was a setter like I was, and so when I'm away, she was able to take on that offensive piece as well and help out in that area. So they've been awesome. The girls have really relied on them, and it's just been nice to have that trust piece too with the staff, that I know, and if I have to be away with the baby or anything, that they're going to be able to still, push the program at where I want it to go. And they see my vision, and we work really well together. And you can see our chemistry too as a coaching staff in that game on Monday. We really balance each other out, which is huge.
Monday was an exciting day in McBrayer Arena, and many more to come throughout the rest of this season. Season tickets are available for $30. And the unique thing of this year, the $30 you spend for your spring ticket will also get you a fall season ticket. So the complete calendar year of EKU volleyball for the low price of $30 available. That'll get you into the remaining 6 games this spring in the complete schedule this fall. So we encourage you to come out and join this team, get an excitement. Sunday afternoons, Monday afternoons, the normal slate for this spring season. And as we move into the ASUN, we'll get that schedule out definitely this summer. Single game tickets also available for just $5. Can't beat that deal and opportunity. One more time, we want to encourage you to support this program through donations to the program. It supports the academic mission, a scholarship here at EKU, providing great opportunities for these young women as part of EKU volleyball, in providing Johnna the opportunity to provide the tools and assets needed to recruit, to train our young people in a positive way and provide the resources necessary to compete both now and in the future in the ASUN conference. Johnna, we appreciate you joining us so much tonight. We'll close out this session this evening with great enthusiasm. Looking forward to returning to the court here in a couple of weeks against Belmont, February 28th and March 1st. Both days, 4 p.m. start. They'll be on ESPN Plus, but more importantly, please join us in McBrayer Arena.
Awesome.
With that being said, we appreciate you being out tonight and look forward to that game coming up.
Thank you so much for having me.
Good evening, everyone.